Across Southeast Asia, scam compounds are being shut down. But will that make any difference? Hi there, it's Jeff, and this is Plain English on Monday, January 26th, 2026. Plain English is where you get to improve your English skills with stories about current events and trending topics. We did an episode a few years ago about pig butchering, the style of online scam that has proven most lucrative these days. That was episode number 525. If you haven't heard that, you can listen to that in your podcast feed or at plainenglish.com/525. Today, we're also talking about scammers. In the time since our first episode on this topic came out, online scams have become a big global criminal enterprise. China, the United States, and other governments are starting to crack down on cybercrime. In this story, you'll learn more about where these scams happen and how countries in Southeast Asia are dealing with massive scam compounds within their borders. This is Plain English, episode number 833. JR is the producer of Plain English, and he has uploaded the full story to plainenglish.com/833. plainenglish.com/833. Before we start today's story, I'd just like to remind you that the podcast is just one part of how we can help you upgrade your English skills. At plainenglish.com, you can make faster progress with active learning strategies. You can take quizzes, do activities, listen to the fast version of the audio, watch video workshops, practice what you learn, and even join a live call with JR and me. It's all about helping you build your skills to become a better, more confident English speaker. Sound good? Go to plainenglish.com to start your free 14-day trial today. Now, let's jump into today's story. Cybercrime is almost as old as the internet. Russia, Nigeria, Eastern Europe, and China all host sophisticated networks of cybercriminals. But in recent years, one region has become the global hub of industrial-style online scams: Southeast Asia. In Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, the Philippines, and, most of all, Myanmar, sprawling compounds with thousands of workers. Some estimates say over 200,000 people in total are dedicated to scamming people around the world out of their money. Some of those workers go voluntarily and make a salary, but many others are victims of human trafficking, trapped there and forced into meeting aggressive quotas, their passports confiscated, unable to leave. The scam compounds are run by sophisticated criminal enterprises. Governments in the area have either protected them or turned a blind eye to their activities. For a time, this type of online scamming was just a nuisance. But since the pandemic, scammers have perfected their craft. They now use deep fake videos, elaborate video conferencing backgrounds, artificial intelligence, and convincing-looking websites to get even sophisticated people to hand over their money. In 2023, the president of a bank in the American state of Kansas fell victim to a scammer, losing $47 million of his customers' money in a cryptocurrency scam. The United States says $16 billion was lost to scammers in 2024. But that's surely an understatement, since many victims don't report the crime. The scammers are now a victim of their own success. Whereas before they were able to fly under the radar, they are now so lucrative that the world's biggest governments are taking notice. A few years ago, China started to put pressure on its neighbors in the region. Its own citizens were losing money to clever scams. But Chinese citizens were also being kidnapped and forced to work at the scam centers in other countries. In January 2025, Chinese actor Wang Xing was lured by a fake acting job in Thailand. Like many other Chinese citizens, he was held against his will, trafficked across the border into Myanmar, and forced to work inside a scam compound. He was rescued a few days later, but the incident hit home for many Chinese. If a famous actor could be kidnapped by the scammers, then no one is safe. Then, in late 2025, the United States raised the stakes. Several government agencies formed a scam center strike force that will target scam compounds. The U.S. now considers scammers to be transnational organized crime, not just a consumer fraud nuisance. The governments of Southeast Asia have taken notice and started to cooperate. Thailand has started cutting off electricity, internet, and fuel supplies to Myanmar border areas with scam compounds. Cambodia and the Philippines have executed raids, often making arrests and sometimes freeing workers held hostage inside. They've also extradited high-profile scam bosses to face punishment in China. But the world's capital of online scams, Myanmar, doesn't have a stable government. Ever since a coup in 2021, the country of 55 million people has been ruled by a patchwork of rebel groups and militias. Scam bosses have used the power vacuum to build scam cities near the Thailand border, protected by armed groups and largely beyond the reach of normal policing. It turns out, though, that even armed rebel groups have their limits. The Karen National Liberation Army, or the KNLA, is an insurgent force that operates in an area along the border with Thailand. This is where many major scam compounds have developed. And the leader of the KNLA recently said, "We do not like that our land is known as the place where criminals cheat people." The KNLA has taken some high-profile actions against scammers. It recently shut down Shunda Park, a scam compound that was less than 2 years old. Over 3,000 people from about 30 nations worked there. Some had signed up voluntarily, while others had been kidnapped and forced into scam labor. The compound is now empty. Thousands of discarded cell phones stacked in laundry baskets, rows upon rows of computer monitors dark, SIM cards littering the floors. Myanmar's military government has also taken action against scammers, targeting perhaps the most infamous compound in the world, KK Park. This compound is over 200 hectares and had row upon row of multi-story buildings used as dormitories and offices. At its peak, over 20,000 people worked there. The military says it has shut down KK Park. As proof, it theatrically blew up several buildings in the compound and broadcast the explosions on state television. They even set up computers in a large parking lot and ran a steamroller over them. The message was unmistakable. The Myanmar military government, too, is cracking down on scammers. The message may have been unmistakable, but the truth is quite a bit more complicated. Some analysts say the crackdown is not intended to shut down the scam industry. It's just a publicity stunt to relieve international pressure. Others say that governments in the region are powerless to control the scam compounds. And some say that these scammers make so much money and have so much power that local governments can't stop them. Besides, new scam compounds can pop up as quickly as the existing ones are shut down. When one scam compound is shut down or blown up, bosses just set up shop in some other place. Voluntary workers say the pay is good. They'll just go to the next office whenever it's up and running. Western journalists that gained access to Shunda Park said that former workers were lingering around and openly said they were looking for more work in the scam industry. On the inside, scam compounds look like any office building. They look just like a call center. There are rows and rows of desks and computer monitors. There are motivational messages like "keep going" and "dream chaser." But then there are laundry baskets full of cell phones, thousands of cell phones. SIM cards are all over the floor. There are rooms dedicated to video conferencing with bookshelves filled with business books. There are photos everywhere. Photos of beautiful women. Photos of people who look like they could be successful investors. In one room, there was a Chinese gong. Anytime workers would scam someone out of $5,000, they would hit the gong. Anytime they got $50,000, they'd hit a giant drum in celebration. We've reached the end of episode number 833. At plainenglish.com/833, you can see a video of a scam compound. There's a section on there called Dig Deeper, where I always include links to articles and videos about the story topic. And one of the links I posted this time is a tour of an abandoned scam compound in Myanmar. It's very powerful. You can see exactly where all this happens. We've all gotten those texts. We've all gotten those strange follows on Instagram. And now in this video, you can see the offices where people were doing all this. Anyway, that's in the Dig Deeper section of plainenglish.com/833. Check out Plain English again on Thursday when you'll learn all about a new English expression. See you then. Listen up if you speak Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, German, French, Italian, Japanese, Polish, or Turkish. One of the most frustrating things about listening and reading in a second language is being confused by unfamiliar words or phrases. When you listen to Plain English, or when you read the transcript, you probably encounter some words you don't know. When that happens, you have a few options. You can stop the audio, go look up the definition, then return to the episode, find your place, and press play again, but that's exhausting. Or you can just skip it and be confused. That's no fun either. But what if you could see the translation of the word into your language instantly without having to stop the audio, without having to look anything up? Well, you can at plainenglish.com. For each episode, we translate about 100 words and phrases from English to 9 languages. Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, German, French, Italian, Japanese, Polish, and Turkish. And we highlight those words in blue. All you have to do is hover your mouse over the highlighted word and you will see the translation instantly. It works great on mobile too. It really makes listening a lot more satisfying, and it's a great way to expand your vocabulary in English. The best way to see these translations is to sign up for a free 14-day trial at plainenglish.com. During your trial, you can read as many transcripts as you like, all with the translations into your language. So sign up for your free trial today at plainenglish.com.